Hi, in today's video I'm going to be covering Ffmpeg scene detection. I've just released version 3 of the script, and basically what I've done is set them to output in hours, minutes and seconds as well as seconds. What I'll do is switch across to the terminal, and what I've got here is a copy of Big Buck Bunny. I've just renamed input.mkv. And what I'm going to do is run scene detection and specify a range to detect the scenes in. So I'm going to run the -s option and set a start point to start detecting the scenes in. Give it the input file and an end portion to detect the clip to. So I'll put in 5 minutes there. Okay, and put an out file. So I'm going to call this min detect. And what I'm going to do is run this twice. Once detecting outputting as minutes and then outputting as seconds. And what I'll do is then chop the video up into clips and show you that it's exactly the same. So what I'm going to do now is run this with the seconds option to output in seconds. So sec detect dot text, and so what we'll have is 2 text files with all the scene changes in the video represented in seconds. So I'll just switch across to Emacs, and what we've got here is min detect and second detect. So I'll open the seconds first of all, so you can see the start is at 240 and it's 240.042. So these are all the changes. And let me just open the min detect, and so what you'll see is these basically are exactly the same timestamps, just in hours, minutes and seconds and milliseconds. So you can see these correspond exactly, but they're just in different formats. So what I'm going to do now is convert. We need to convert the detection list we've just created into a format that Ffmpeg can understand. So what I've done is created another script called scene time, and what this does is it basically takes the second line and subtracts it from the first line to create a start point and a duration. When you're trimming video clips with Ffmpeg, you actually specify a start time and a duration, not an end point. So what I'm going to do is convert these into cut list. So we'll do min cut list dot text, and we'll do the same thing for the seconds cut list, seconds detection. So out sec cut list, and I'll just switch across to Emacs here. And what we've got is the seconds cut list and the minutes cut list. So I'll just open these up and show you what they look like. So basically what this has done is it's let me open the original sec detect. So what you can see here is we've got the first, this is the start point of the clip, and this is the end point. But what we need to do is actually subtract this line from this line to give us the duration, which would be 2 seconds 0.042, and we're actually formatting it so that we've got the start and the duration separated by a comma. So what the scene time script does is it basically goes through, takes the second line, subtracts it from that line to create the start point and the duration. So that's the seconds output, and now we'll have a look at the minute cut list and the original min detect. Okay, so what you'll see here is the timestamps of the detection in hours, minutes, and seconds and milliseconds. And what you'll see the script has done is it's basically gone through and it's converted this format into seconds, subtracted the second line from the first line, converted it back into hours, minutes, and seconds, and then formatted it like this so that they're all separated with a comma. So we got 4 minutes to 2 seconds, 0.042, and that's the first clip. So that's the start point and the duration. So you can see it's basically gone through all these lines, done the maths, converted it to seconds, converted it back into hours, minutes, and seconds, and created this this cut list we can use with Ffmpeg. So what I'm going to do now is actually run the script to cut the video up into chunks. So we run scene cut /h. Basically all we have to do is give it the input file and the cut list. So what I'm going to do is cut the video up with the seconds cut list and show you all the scenes it's created. Then I'm going to do the same thing with the minutes cut list and show you that it's exactly the same output as the second. So we run sec cut list, and basically what this is going to do is it's going to go through and it's creating all the clips. So what I'm just going to do is I'll wait till this is finished and then I'll put it in a separate folder. So we'll say make directory p bbb seconds, and what I'll do now is open the file manager and go through these clips so you can see. Well, what I'll do first of all is I'll just play the section we're interested in, which is 4 minutes. Okay, so this is the section we're working with from 4 minutes to 5 minutes. So these are the scenes. So you can see all the cuts. The reason I picked this is because there's lots of action, lots of different cuts that we can detect. I'll just skip through that. You get the idea. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the cut list that we created, and you'll see that they're all cut into separate scenes. They're all perfectly cut without having to use a video editor. So I'll just go through and open some of these. File manager does that. Okay, so you can see that's cut everything up. So what I'm going to do now is exactly the same thing, but using the cut list in the hours, minutes, seconds format. So I'll run scene cut -i input -c for the cut list, min cut list, and it's going to go through and do exactly the same thing. Cut the video up into chunks depending on the scenes. Okay, so make directory p minutes. File manager again. Okay, and we've got the minutes here, and we'll see they're exactly the same. You can see it's cut it exactly the same as the seconds output. Go down to, I think it was number 19. 19. Okay, so basically what we've got is, I go through this again, we created the detection list. So we've got the seconds detect. As you can see, everything's output in seconds. So 240 would be 4 minutes, 300 be 5 minutes. So you can see it's not as easy or as intuitive to use stuff in seconds as it is in hours, minutes, and seconds. So what I did, as I said, was change it so that we output in this format by default. So this is much easier to read. So we can see 4 minutes, 4 minutes 2, the second scene, and so on like that. And then basically we ran the scene time script, and you can see here this is the cut list that is created with the scene time script. We've got the start and then the duration, each of the clips. And then if I come through to the minute cut list, you can see here what we've got is 4 minutes, and then hours, minutes, 2 seconds, 042 is the first clip. So that's the duration of the first clip. So you can see it's a lot easier to work with in this format because you can actually see, okay, that's 4 minutes 10, 4 minutes 30, instead of having to mentally try and do the maths, convert seconds into minutes. So what I'm going to do now is come across to the scene detection script and just go through the actual code. So I'll skip the stuff that's been through before. So this is sort of like regular expressions to check stuff. We've got the get ops, some variables down here, and then what we've got is we've got the Ffmpeg duration. Basically, we have to, if we're analyzing a full video, what we need to do is actually get the duration of the video to append it to the detection list that we create. Now what we've got here is, let me see if I've got the right bit. We got, what I have to do is convert time from one format into another. So for instance, when you run the script on the command line, what we're doing here is actually specifying a range we want to analyze the video for scenes, and the script only takes the Ffmpeg filter we're using only takes input in seconds. So what we have to do is convert that time, the start and end times for the range, into seconds. So that's what this code is here. Then we've got the actual scene detection, which I covered in a previous video. What I'll do here is go through this. This is the code that actually creates the cut list in seconds or minutes. So this is how we convert the output from Ffmpeg in seconds into hours, minutes, and seconds, where the detection is the this variable here. This detection is the result of this script up here. Detection is going to be either detecting all the scene changes in the entire video or in a range of the video. So first of all, we echo the results of the detection into awk, and what we're doing with this line is actually the format it's got is it has something called PTS, which is the timestamp separated by a colon, and then the timestamp in seconds. So what we're doing is we're actually grabbing this, we're searching for the PTS time and actually grabbing the seconds after that. Then after we've done that, what we do here on the, if I can go through to this line here, is we then pipe that into awk, and we search for something separated by a period. So it's going to be 300.5 would be like 5 minutes dot 5 seconds. 0.5 seconds. And what we're doing is we're using this printf to create a format of decimals separated by colons. And if it's got second field, basically what that means is it's also got milliseconds. What we're doing is, you can see down here, and come back, we're actually doing some maths. We're sort of multiplying the seconds to convert it into hours, minutes, seconds, and milliseconds. So that's the actual maths that does the job, converts the seconds into hours, minutes, and seconds. And then basically what we've got down here is this chunk of code. And what this basically does is this first of all checks to see if you set a start and end point for a duration to analyze the video. And if you have, it's basically going to run some functions here. Firstly, to convert the time into seconds, then detect the the changes in the video. Then what we do is we actually check the format. So there's a option in the script where you can run scene detect -h. What you do is you specify, you can either optionally specify a start and an end point to analyze scene changes in that range and the in file, or if you omit those, it's going to just do the whole video. You can use the -t option to specify the threshold for the scene detection, and if you use the -f sec option, it's going to output the scene changes in seconds. So by default, it's going to do it in hours, minutes, and seconds. But if you want seconds, you can specify that option. So what we're doing is we're checking to see if this option's been passed on the command line. And if it has, you want seconds, we run this function cut file seconds. Otherwise, we run the cut files minutes function. So those are the two functions to basically either output stuff in seconds or hours, minutes, and seconds. And so basically we got stuff down here. So also checks to see if you've set start option but not the end option, and the end option but not the start option. And if you've done that, it's going to print an error message. And then down here, what we do is this is where we detect all the changes in the entire video. So that's the scene detect script. So what I'll come across to is the scene time script, and this is what actually converts stuff from hours, minutes, and seconds to seconds, subtracts the second line from the first line to create the duration, and then converts it back into hours, minutes, and seconds, and then separates everything with commas. So this is the chunk of code that does this, which took a while to figure out. So basically, what this does is this is what converts the hours, minutes, and seconds, the seconds into hours, minutes, and seconds. Here, that's the awk code where we're multiplying different fields to get the timestamp. And then what we do on this line here is once we've got the well, actually, what it first does is, sorry, my bad. What it first has to do is if we've got the timestamp in hours, minutes, and seconds, what it needs to do is it needs to convert that hours, minutes, and seconds to seconds. And then once we've done that, what we can do is basically take the second line, subtract it from the first line to create the start point and the duration. And what we're doing here is we're actually separating these by a new line. So what we'll have is a start time and then a duration on the next line. And then this is something that took me quite a while to figure out, which is how to convert back from seconds into hours, minutes, and seconds. So what we're doing is we're searching for field separated per period. It's going to be like, 120.100 milliseconds or something. And basically what this code does is it actually goes through and does the maths and converts the seconds back into hours, minutes, seconds, and milliseconds. And then finally, what we got here, if I can go down to this line here, ors equals nr divided by 2 question mark comma colon new line. Basically what that does is I come across back to the minute detect. So what that does is it's basically going through this file here, and it's converting it all into seconds, and then it's taking the second line and subtracting it from the first line. And then what it's going to do is it's going to output everything on new lines again. So what we need to do is actually figure out a way, once we got the start point here, and then the duration, it's going to be start duration. What we need to do is actually figure out a way to take the second line and actually place it on this line separated by a comma, so that the actual format looks like this. So that basically what we've got is the start time, comma, and then the duration. And this took quite a while to actually figure out how to do this, but I came across a bit of code, and what this basically does is this is the number of records. So it's like saying the number of records is divisible by 2. Put a comma, so we've got the first line and the second line, and what this will basically do is it will take the second line and put it after the first line separated by the comma. But if it's not divisible by 2, what we want to do is put the next one on a new line. So this is a ternary operator. It's like an either or. And basically what this will do is it goes through and it takes the second line and it puts on the first line separated by a comma, and then puts the next line on a new line. And that's what actually creates the formatting to do this. And this is the little bit of code down at the bottom where what we do is we actually check what format you've given the scene time script, either seconds or hours, minutes, and seconds. And basically the way we do that is, I think we've got a bit of code up here somewhere that actually goes through the file and checks what kind of file it is. Okay, yeah, here it is. So basically what I do is I grab the first line of the file and then run some regular expressions to see if it basically matches hours, minutes, and seconds, or just purely seconds. I need to change that to seconds. So that's how we actually check what kind of file you've given the script, and then basically run the minutes or the seconds function. So basically, if you give the script stuff in seconds, it's going to detect it's in seconds and then run the seconds function and output it in seconds. If you give it stuff in hours, minutes, seconds, it's going to detect that and then output it in that format again. So you can either use seconds or hours, minutes, and seconds to actually create the cut list. So that's all the scripts, and that's how we basically process it. We run it through 3 scripts. We ran first of all we ran scene detect and specify the range. So and an endpoint, which was 5 minutes. So we wanted to analyze stuff. Then we gave it an output file name like detect.txt. Once we've done that, that gives us our detection either in minutes or in seconds. basically, let me just go back here. So seconds detection looks like this. That's the format. And I said, it's not intuitive or really human readable to actually get, okay, 252. Where's that in the video? So that's why we do the minute detection. So we can actually see 452 would, was that 412? But it's much easier to actually see in the video where the scene has actually changed in this format. And then once we got that format, basically what we did was we ran the scene time script, and all you have to do is give it the input and then specify an output. So scene time input, and we gave it like the minute text, and then we did output minutes, cut list, text, cut list, like that. And that gave us the minute cut list in this format. So we've got the start time and then the duration. Once we've got that, basically all we had to do was run the scene cut script, give it the video, give it the cut file, like that. And once we've done that, it's basically going to go through and chop the video up, and basically come back here. As you can see, here's the minute files, and here's the second files, so that you can basically see they're exactly the same. So switch between them, so you can see this bit number 7 right here. So you can see it's exactly the same. Everything bang on to the millisecond. Using either format is just that having the output in hours, minutes, and seconds is much more readable, and also it means that you can also adjust this if you want to. You can adjust the timestamps manually in this, in the cut list, or in the detection. So if anything's actually off by a few milliseconds, or you want to extend the range, you can rerun the script, or manually edit this. And you can also manually create a list like this if you want to. If you don't want to use the scene detection, you can just manually go through and create a list like this. Say, okay, from 4 minutes, I want to create a clip for 30 seconds. So that you'd put, this would be 0:30. So with Ffmpeg, the way it cuts stuff up is with a start and a duration, not a start and an end point. So that's why we had to do the maths. And basically, once we've done that, we give it the cut script. And what this script does, it basically uses this while loop. So we pipe this the cut file into the while loop, and what we do is we say the internal field separator is a comma, and what we do is we set everything before the comma to the start variable, and everything after the comma is going to be the duration variable. Then we run the trim video script, and we sort of increment the count here. We've got a count, and basically what it does is it passes the start and the duration, which corresponds to those lines in the cut list, into Ffmpeg down here, seeks to that point in the video, and then cuts it to that duration. So that's how we can actually really efficiently, using just a while loop and one function, go through the file, set the start point, set the duration, and get Ffmpeg to actually seek to that point in the video and then cut it. So that's Ffmpeg scene detection, and those are the two previous videos. That was when I was using ffprobe just to analyze the whole video. Second video is how we can actually specify a range in the video to do the scene detection. And now the third version of the script is how we can actually set it to output in hours, minutes, and seconds, and just instead of just seconds, because it's much more readable and usable. So that's Ffmpeg scene detection and how you can chop up videos without needing to use a video editor on Linux.